Let that light of joy shine in your life all the time. Oh, let that light of joy, let that light of joy, let that light of joy shine in
Welcome
your life.
to our Sunday celebration service for the fourth Advent, the Advent of joy. And as we awaken to our joy, I'll remind you that these four principles that we've been lighting candles to are really one flame that can't be divided. That our peace and our faith and our love and our joy are really all one and the same light, always present within us, always guiding our way. Now we're human beings. We're going to experience all there is. And that light, that divine light, which we look at the shades of it through Advent, much in the same way that when a light goes through a prism and you get a whole rainbow, Advent is dividing the light to just look at these four principles. So let's turn to Mary Kupferle, who is a unity minister and writer, and she says, "Joy belongs to you, whether you know it or not. It is yours now to discover, to use, to exercise, and to bring into expression." This joy is yours, is mine. And my joy may not look like your joy. We have all kinds of joy. Because within the spectrum of joy, which is infinite in God, we can experience it in all kinds of ways. But it's ours to explore our joy. Whether it's grand, joyous expression or simple joy of having a really nice bath or having some time with a friend. But as we practice it, we live and learn and light that joy. I'd say we're awakening to the joy. This is C.S. Lewis, a writer, and he says, "Joy is the serious business of heaven." Where is that in you? Now Jesus, his teaching is the kingdom of heaven is within us. And I think that's profound wisdom. So joy is our owning and coming to the knowing that heaven is ours. And in the perspective of heaven, joy is serious business. So let's get down to it and experience our joy, yes? I turn to Joseph Campbell. I'd call him the king of bliss, but I get ahead of myself. He says here, "Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain." Wow. So if we get in touch with that ever-present essence of joy, it's going to be that energy within us that would shift and change the energy of pain, of disquiet, of chaos in our life. That's pretty cool. That means we have the keys to work through anything in our life. He goes on to say, I say, "Follow your bliss and don't be afraid. The doors will open where you didn't know they were going to be. If you follow your bliss, doors will open for you that wouldn't have opened for anyone else." Wow. Go back to that idea where each of us have our own joy, and it may not look the same for each of us. The truth of that is that when we're aligning with that which gives us energy. Bliss is the stuff of good stuff in our life. It's the stuff that gives us a reason to get up out of bed in the morning. And bliss can be simple and easy, or it could be grand. And when we're following that track, doors will open for us that haven't opened for anyone else, maybe ever, or maybe over and over again. Because within this realm, we're working in the realm of the divine. Everything is possible. There's no lack. And let's see if we can awaken to the bliss, burn through any pain, and open new doors for ourselves. Now turn to the compassionate Buddha, because Buddha has great wisdom. And he starts off with one of our primary unity principles. We are shaped by our thoughts, and we become what we think. Recognize that? When the mind is pure, joy follows us like a shadow that never leaves. When you're in the light, when you're walking towards the light, the shadow is there. There's always a shadow if there's light. And that shadow sticks to you. It's always present. Our joy is always present. And as we clarify our brain, we have over 60,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thinking. And that's what this brain does. It ideates, it thinks, it thinks, it thinks. And what we entertain of those 60,000 thoughts become our experience. So if we've been in the habit of entertaining sadness, I'm not good enough, pain, why not focus on some joy? Have a focus of what bliss is there in this situation. And as we begin to explore that, it will guide us to new ways for ourselves. Ah, yes, May Rowland, who was the head of Silent Unity for many years, I heard stories how powerful this woman was. And she says, true happiness is an outgrowth of developing the habit of joy. Oh, hello, my name's Gary. I've got a habit of joy. Now, we have all kinds of habits. Just think about it. When you brush your teeth, I bet it's always the same hand. We got a habit. Habit makes our life a little easier because we don't have to think, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? But let's allow joy to become, oh, I like joy. I like bliss. I like what's giving me energy and life. And from that, I'm experiencing my true happiness. True happiness is that happiness that surpasses all other experience. Have you had those experiences where you truly just feel downright happy? Don't you want more experience of life where your life identifies with, wow, I'm happy? She continued to say, when we touch the inner spring of joy, we feel the strength of it constantly sustaining us, no matter what may seem to be going wrong in the external world. No matter what. This reminds me, back in 1989, Owen and I did a video for Mother Teresa's Center for AIDS Services in Oakland, California. And the thing I was struck with at the time was here was a group of men and women receiving services in this center that was created by Mother Teresa's order, the Sisters and Brothers of Charity, and where in their outside life they had been rejected by their families. They had doctors saying, you're going to die very soon, so get your life in order. To the center where they were respected and honored and appreciated. And all of a sudden, they began to identify that the very disease that brought them in the door was the blessing in their life. Because it brought life to their life. It brought joy to their life. It brought true happiness. Because they felt safety, respect, belonging. Aren't these the things we want in our life? Joy is our ticket to our true happiness. Rabindranath Tagore, poet extraordinaire, he says, I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Last week, I invited us to step out and do something for others. Be there for others. The very act of service is going to bring us joy. It's going to connect us with that otherworldly aspect of our life. So back at that Center for AIDS Services, do you think the men and women who are serving these clients were going, I have to go to work, to be with these people, no! They were alive and vibrant. Otherwise, the clients that were going through the center wouldn't be experiencing that energy. We're being called to be that energy in the world. Khalil Gibran says, there are those who give with joy, and that joy is their reward. We need not anything else in service than feeling that deep joy. So there's an incredible wellspring of prosperity for us by just being there for others. Our family members, our co-workers, here within our church community. There's much that we can do, and it's our light to do so. Now, Garth Brooks said it this way: joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Now, Garth Brooks, I said, that actually is kind of an interesting thing there. And look at all the joy. Karl Barth was Swiss and was quite a theologian and changed the world. And he says joy is the simplest form of gratitude. And so what our joy, when we come to this knowing, we're one with God. We're one with the light and the presence of. And it's from that presence where we can express our praise. Because if we're experiencing more joy in our life, it's a blessing. And don't we want blessed lives? Aren't we saying Merry Christmas as an expression of, I want your life to be one in the light of Christ's consciousness with joy and merriment. Let it be so. And then I turned to Martha Smock, who was the head of Silent Unity for many years. You'll hear a lot from Martha Smock because I love what she has to say. And she says, your feeling of inner joy, your joyous attitude, make you a giver of joy, a bringer of joy to others. So this is what we come to. As service to others, as service to ourselves, as enjoying simple joys in life. Taking that walk by the river, spending time with a grandchild, taking a luxurious bath, reading a good book, enjoying a meal. And as we share those moments with others, our very countenance of joy infuses and lights the light in others. It's like passing on the light. We can be the joy bringers and bring the joy from just being joyful. Now, I have this activity in my life that when I feel like I can't possibly take on any more joy, before saying stop, no more joy, I stop and I say, God, upgrade my blissometer. And faster than lightning, faster than any Apple download, is an instant upgrade of your blissometer. Where your blissometer was maxed out over here, you're now like here. And you have all that room for a whole bunch more bliss. You can upgrade your blissometer anytime, anywhere, and then you just, okay, God, bring it on. More joy. I'm ready for more bliss right now. How many of you are ready for more bliss right now? Yes, it's so good. So let's take this bliss in our heart, that light and that flame, and let's take it into our heart, because as Garth Brooks or Karl Barth had to say about it, joy is the simplest form of gratitude. Thank you. And it's from this place, right now, that we settle in to this blessed moment. And as we open ourselves to more light. First, we think of something that gives us great joy. And let's think that joy and let that light a flame, a light in the center of our being. So that we're thinking the thought and we're feeling the light in our very center. Let's add to the light by bringing in the advent of faith. The light gets brighter and begins to seep into every cell of our being. And then we open up and allow the light of peace to add to this expression, this radiant light that's pouring out from us, pouring out into the room. And as we breathe deeply into this light, we open our awareness of the advent of love. And the love ripples out from us like waves, part of a deep, deep ocean that is always present. And now we breathe in and we invite in the bright light of joy. And it's from this joy that we are present to all that is. Allowing our joy to be the foundation that a seed germinates into life. That a cloud gathers and spreads its rain onto the ground. It's all an outpouring of this divine light. And right now in this meditation, we are aware that we are safe. We are whole. We are renewed and made stronger. And we breathe into this expression. And as we take now some time in the silence, we do it in deep gratitude for this wellspring of light, of faith, of peace, of love, and of joy. Now, in the silence. we are eternally grateful for our ever-increasing awareness of our oneness with God. As we bring our energy back into this room, we bring with us the gift of this light. We feel it in our fingertips and our toes, from the top of our head and in our belly. And as we bring our awareness back into this room, we honor the path that always brings us home. And it's from this place we affirm with great joy this affirmation. I am expressing God's joy. Again, I am expressing God's joy, and so it is.
Let that light of joy shine in your life all the time. Oh, let that light of joy, let that light of joy, let that light of joy shine in your life.